So I'm back today to show you guys how I paint my nails. Hopefully the next video will probably be my entire manicure routine, but honestly guys, I'm so tired tonight. I just don't feel like doing the whole thing. So I'm gonna show you guys how I paint because I can't go to bed with naked nails because I'm a freak of nature. But I'm just gonna show you guys real quick. It's really simple. I call it paint by the numbers. The key to painting your nails is to make sure you stay within the lines. You gotta color within the lines because the closer you get to the cuticle, the more mess you make and the harder it is to clean up. So you wanna stay as far away from your cuticle as humanly possible. So I'm gonna start off with my base coat. This one is by American Classics. And this one's Growth Spurt, and this helps to grow your nails out. I'm gonna follow that with this OPI Nail Envy, which is a strengthener. This one does have formaldehyde in it, which I know they used to embalm dead people, possibly, but it makes your nails grow like weeds. So you're only using a very tiny amount. It's not like you're gonna die. I mean, we know you're not dead, but it works. So we're gonna do this in order of Growth Spurt first and then strengthener second. You can do strengthener first and then growth second, but I prefer this because I see faster results. And the thing about Growth Spurt that I like, or American Classics period, is the brush that they have. It's very wide, so it covers a lot of the nail surface in fewer strokes, which is pretty convenient for those of us who have wide nails. So what you want to do is just start in the middle, not all the way to the top, but you want to push it up to the cuticle and down. And you want to try to do it in 3 strokes, that way it's even on each nail. You can do more strokes, but for me 3 tends to work the best. It's pretty standard for most of us nail girls here on YouTube and Instagram. And the brush is so wide, I don't even really have to move my hand, I just move the brush. And if you want to spread out further or wider, you just want to push down on the brush. You guys, please excuse some of my staining. I haven't had a chance to whiten. It's such a hassle to do, but looks like it's time. And I had a really bad break, so I have nubbins right now, but I can embrace it. It definitely makes me type a little faster, and I don't scratch the boo at night, so he's happy. Now for the Nail Envy, and I think I prefer the matte versus the original, but I wonder if the matte is a little less strong. But I like the Nail Envy matte because when I'm painting, I know when it's dry because the nail is completely matte. So at least I know that I'm giving enough time in between coats to dry to ensure that dry time is a little more efficient and I don't have to sit still longer at the end of my mani to wait for a polish to dry. Even though I do cheat and use quick dry top coats. And I use it for my fidgeters. Whenever I do nails, I'll make sure to use something that's fairly quick because people don't like to sit still and let their nails dry. And neither do I. And again, you just want to make sure that you're not touching the cuticle because when you touch the cuticle, it causes the polish to flood your nail. And it's such a pain in the bum to try to fix. Now, I don't know if you ladies can tell, but it is pretty matte. So, I'm going to do a color that I think is probably going to show up really well on camera. This is from the new OPI Brazil collection. The name of the color is You Can Do It If You Try. I think OPI has some of the cutest, most creative names out there. Even though they're getting as long as the alphabet, I still thoroughly enjoy the names. And this is kind of a corally pinky peach color, I guess. I feel like it shows up really good on every skin tone, especially those with my light caramel complexion. It kind of makes you look as though you have more of a tan than you really do. So when you're actually preparing the brush to paint, you want to make sure that you completely wipe one side of the brush so that there is no polish on it, because if not, that's what will cause the polish to pool. And you want to make sure you just have a drop on the other side, just one little drop. So just make sure, it doesn't matter what side you pick, just ensure that you don't have polish on one side. and 1 little drop on the other side. And this is the side you're going to use to paint on the actual nail. Okay? So again, not too close to the cuticle. And down. And around the side. And sorry if I'm shaking. I'm painting with the non-dominant hand because it's the harder hand for me to paint with. Just to show you guys that it can be done, because everybody feels like they can't paint with the non-dominant hand. You can. You just have to be a little bit more patient, and it does help to have your hand on a flat surface versus you putting your nails up to your face to paint, because it makes a mess. And my hand tends to be pretty shaky. My left hand does. My right hand's a steady hand, but the left hand looks like I have cerebral palsy or something. And don't worry about the little mess up I had on the side. I'll show you guys how to clean up if you do so happen to color out the lines, because it happens. And it does look like it's going on unevenly. The first coat tends to be the trickiest, but no worries. The second coat evens everything out. So if you see that it looks a little lumpy or it looks streaky, don't worry. Once you get to that second coat, you'll be cooking with gas. You'll be in the money, don't worry. And last but not least, the thumb. I gotta give it up to OPI. They're the only ones who really do a good flat brush, because Essie's brushes are very skinny, so it requires a lot more patience and a lot more strokes to cover the whole nail, and it's a pain in the bum. But OPI, since the brush is so wide, you typically can do it in 3 strokes, but my thumbnail's pretty wide, so I don't have the luxury. Pretty good, so not so bad for a first coat. Love this color. It's so pretty. I'm ready for the spring this summer. So now we're on to the second coat, and this coat is my favorite, because then you really can see how quality a polish is. Because if a polish is completely opaque in 2 coats, it's good. And it really does show off the true color of it, because sometimes polish may seem a little lighter or a little darker upon first paint, but second coat always lets you know the true color of the polish. And I just love this color. It just screams fun, summer, and carnivals, and vacations. So every time I look at my nails, I feel like I'm on vacation, even when I'm not. It's great. And I'm messing up on the sides on purpose so you guys can see how I clean up when I do mess up, because I don't want anybody out there thinking I'm perfect, because I certainly am not. And we all make mistakes, but just this one little extra step makes all the difference in the world. And kind of shows your viewers that you really care. Care enough to clean up. That's what I call it. So I'm attempting to let my polish dry just a little. I'm pretty impatient when it comes to giving these coats like a minute or 2 to semi-dry, but I noticed that when you don't let them dry for at least a minute to 2 minutes, when you go to put your top coat on, it gets really streaky, like somebody took a comb and went over your nails. And you certainly don't want this beautiful application to be ruined by a top coat because you weren't patient enough to let it dry. So, you know, put a timer on, watch a couple 15-second Instagram videos or a commercial, and then you can go ahead and apply your top coat. But don't do it immediately after you're done. You gotta give your nails just a minute or 2 to dry, just a little bit, and then you can put your top coat on. Now that I've let it dry for about a minute and a half, I'm going to use my Deborah Lippmann Addicted to Speed top coat. And I freaking love this top coat. I don't love the price, but I have to give it to her. If I had to spend $20 on a nail polish, she's definitely worth it. She's one of the best around. Like, my favorite formula finish. I love her base coats and her top coats, as well as a lot of her colors. Let's go ahead and top this baby off, and then we'll clean up and we'll be done. Again, you just want to make sure that you only have polish on one side. And she does have a pretty thin brush, so it's no such thing as a side, but you just make your own. And I have a little dollop of polish, but let me get a little more. And top coat, you don't necessarily have to be as careful. Like, if you get this on the side, it's not bad because it's clear. Nobody can see it but you. And if somebody's noticing that you have a clear coat on the side of your nails, they're looking too hard. That's just my opinion, though. And some people clean up before they do a top coat, but since I know I'm a little messy with top coat application, I tend to do it after I've applied my top coat. And to make your manicures last longer, you want to wrap the tip. And to wrap the tip, you just actually run the last little bit of polish on the brush around the tip of the nail. And that just seals it in. And then you don't get that chip in like when you go to immerse your hands in water when you're showering or doing the dishes. A lot of people never think to do that, but that's really why your nails chip, because you don't tip or wrap the tips. You gotta wrap the tips, ladies. That's so funny. It sounds like a condom commercial. Wrap it up. I'm just gonna add a little bit more on that nail. And oh, don't mind that sound. That's just my cell phone. Gotta love Hunger Games. Any Hunger Games fans out there? Wrap those tips. Even though I don't even have a tip on this one, I'm still wrapping the tip on that. Okay. So now it's nice and shiny. And this will be pretty dry in like 60 to 75 seconds. I freaking love this top coat. It is absolutely amazing. If you have to splurge on anything, splurge on a top coat. It's amazing. And it stays extremely shiny too. So this is the last part of your mani, should be, or at least your paint process. This is when I use 100% pure acetone, and I use an angled eyeliner brush to clean up around the cuticles. e.l.f. makes one that's $1. It's their concealer brush, and it's a dome shape, but that one is very, very precise. I personally just like the angled brow brush a little better because it fits the curve of my nail a little better, and because it's bigger, so it doesn't take as much to clean up around the cuticle. It cleans up pretty fast, as you guys are about to see right now. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that you dip the brush into the acetone and wipe off the excess. You want to make sure that the brush is not dripping, because if it drips when you go to apply, it's going to flood your cuticles, and you don't want that happening when you're trying to do a cleanup, because it makes more of a mess than it helps. So let's see, I don't know if you guys can see that little mess I did on the side, but you just want to wipe it off. Let's wipe that and then dip and wipe. I wonder if you guys can see this little spot right here. See where I got that polish there? Just wipe it off. And voila, all gone. And you can do it when you see it flooding your cuticle too. You just want to wipe, and it just follows the the smile line of your cuticle. So it's pretty convenient. I guess since I really got into the cuticle, it's taking me a little bit longer on this one, but the key to clean up is just to take your time. Don't get frustrated if you've got a whole bunch of polish there. Just take your time. Go over the same area as much as you need to until you're satisfied with how clean it is, and then you move on, or if you're agitated, just come back to it. And you always want to make sure that when you're cleaning up with the brush, that you wipe it off, because if not, you're going to change the color of your acetone. And you may want to use this to take another mani off, and if you're having a white mani and your acetone is turned pink, it's going to turn your nail pink, which is a pain in the bum if you paint it a light color so your nails wouldn't get stained. It looks pretty good to me. What do you guys think? So that is all of my tips and tricks on how I paint my nails. I hope you guys found this video to your liking and informative, and maybe you learned something and took away from it. Watch it as many times as you need to. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And if you want to see a full manicure, how I do my DIY mani at home, I'd love to hear from you guys. You can follow me on Instagram at mynailsarewet. Talk to you soon. Bye.